I'm Adam Levy, and this is Guitar Tips. Today I want to share with you 3 things that I wish I knew when I first started playing the guitar. And this may surprise you. Only one of them is directly related to the actual playing of the guitar, to playing music on the guitar. I'll get to that and I'll get to the other 2. But before I do, please do me a solid. If you've been watching this channel and enjoying it, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow, helps more people see it. And anyway, I would appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay, here's the first thing I wish I knew. It is be reliable. Now, that seems like it should go without saying, but you'd be surprised how many musicians either don't know or don't care, and it's really super important. Being reliable means you show up on time. It means if you tell somebody you're going to learn, their songs, you learn them. It means that your equipment works. No matter how good you play, if you are not reliable, nobody is going to hire you. And if they do, they're not going to hire you a second time. So all of the technique and music theory and all the stuff you can play, whatever that is, it doesn't matter, because a gig has to start at a certain time. If you're touring, the van or the bus or the airplane or whatever has to leave at a certain time. If a band leader can't count on you, you're done. You will get sent home. So that's super important, and you need to start cultivating that as soon as possible. Your gear working, obviously, there's things that are beyond your control, but as best as you can, make sure your gear works. And to whatever extent you can, learn to do basic repairs yourself. So when something does go wrong, maybe you have the tools and the know-how to fix it on the spot. And if you tell somebody you're going to learn their music, just do it. Number 2 here is engage your community. Whatever it is you want to be doing musically, let's say you want to play some local gigs in your town. Well, you need to find out, where are the venues? What are the venues in your town where it would make sense for you to play in terms of your style, your volume level, your draw? How many people will come out to hear you. Get to know those places. Go see shows there. Get to know the sound person or the manager of the place, or the stage manager if they have one. Get to know the booker. You might say, oh, well, where do I find, is there a resource online where I can look? Well, figure it out. That's part of your job, is to figure out, who the booker is for any particular place, and who the people are. And that's with, with regard to the venue. You're also going to want to get to know who are the people that are already playing there. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to get to know them, to play with them, to jam with them. And so on. If you would like to be a touring musician, then get to know other touring guitar players. They are the ones that might recommend you. If they like you and they get an offer for something that they can't do, they might recommend you. Get to know other touring musicians, bass players, drummers, keyboard players, background singers, anybody, tour managers, guitar techs. Anybody who's on the road, if that's where you want to be, start where you can and get to know people and grow your network and engage that community, because that's where the gigs are going to come from. Yes, somebody might find you randomly on Instagram because you played something cool, and they heard you and they send you a DM, and then you have a gig. That does happen. But that's luck or a blessing, or however you want to see it. And even when you have good connections and resources, there's always a certain amount of luck involved. But just don't wait around for that to happen. Engage your community. If you want to be a studio musician, same thing. Get to know the other studio guitar players, engineers, producers, studio managers, everybody you can. Start where you can, and until you find yourself at the center of where you want to be. For the third thing here, I'm going to paraphrase Viv Savage from Spinal Tap, who in the movie says, "Have a good time all the time." I like that. That's cool. But my tip here is have good time all the time. What that means is everything you play has to feel really good. That might mean, depending on what styles you're working in, that might mean playing right on the grid, or it might not. Some styles have more push and pull and breath to them. Some styles are real, locked in. But whatever milieu you happen to be in, keep in mind that everything you play has to feel good, always. Otherwise, other musicians are not going to want to play with you. Producers are not going to want to hire you to play on their sessions. Audiences may have a hard time relating to what you do. So really prioritize that in the practice room. Whatever it is you're working on, scales, arpeggios, chords, whatever, make sure that it feels good. So how do we do that? One thing you can do, play along with records. Another thing we can do is play along with a metronome. Another thing we can do is play along with a looper pedal. Record yourself in the looper and play along. The secret ingredient in any of those activities is to then record yourself doing that. Playing with records, playing with a metronome, playing with a loop. Record yourself and then listen back to it. Put the guitar down and just listen. What does it sound like? What does it feel like? It might feel great already, and then cool, move on. Get back to whatever it was that you were practicing. But if it doesn't, really try to figure out why. What are the places that you're rushing or dragging or just not landing where you should be, and really work on those areas. Maybe it's a technical thing. Maybe you're not landing in the right spot time-wise because you just don't know the chord as well as you do, or you don't know the scale as well as you think you do, and so on. But it might be something just internally you're not feeling the time. You're not listening to what's going on. Try to figure out what it is that you're not doing that's preventing you from having good time all the time. Because once you do, other people will want to play with you, and producers will want to hire you, and audiences will want to tap their feet and bob their heads and sing along, and they're going to go on whatever ride you want to go on. They're going to come along with you. So those are my 3 things that I wish I knew when I first started out. I'd be curious if you have tips of your own that you want to share. You can leave your top tip or top 3 tips in the comments section down below. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Adam Levy. This is Guitar Tips.